Hey guys, welcome to the Comic Kingdom. My name is Brandon, and today we'll be playing Call of Duty World War II, and we will be taking our second attempt at getting the normal ending of the Final Reich map in the Nazi Zombies game mode. Today I tried to add commentary, so hopefully you enjoy and it isn't too overwhelming or boring for that matter, as I explain my strategy step by step, and you get to hear my real-time reaction to all the events happening in the game. Okay, so today what we're going to be doing is playing some Call of Duty World War II Nazi Zombies on the Final Reich map. And I'm going to try and provide commentary as we go through and explain the process for how we are to achieve the normal mode ending on the Final Reich map. So to give a general rundown before we start, so the first round or two I'm going to stay in the main starting area to gather up points because the first steps involve some points. Because you have to open up the first door to get into the next area, and then from there you do have to open up a secondary door to your left to get to a gas valve. There are 3 gas valves in the area you can turn on, and then from there you can activate the pilot light, which summons a couple pests that you have to deal with.
The whole town is deserted.
Alright, since I got the required points, I'm going to go ahead and jump on it, but so there are 3 gas valves, one located here behind this door on the side of the building. The next one is located in the center of the village by the armor stand, or the armor replenisher, depending on what you want to call it. And the third and final one is in that back corner right there.
Sounds like the gas is pumping, but we might need
And this is not a timed event at all, so you can turn the gas valves on, deal with a couple waves, get some starting weapons, and then deal with the pests. Sometimes it's better to do that because Sometimes the starting pistol does not cut it, but it is what it is. Pardon my aim. And from here we jump down into the hole that was opened up by the pilot light. And turn on this generator. And then we save up 1250 conveniently. Like I spawned there. And the mystery box always spawns in this first little area. Yeah, it always spawns in this bunker down here, so that's always a good thing. The next couple steps while I'm just dealing with these last couple zombies is, so we're gonna have to activate 2 lines of power, one in this, there you go, but one in this room dead ahead and one in the room right behind me. And from there we will, after that we'll be able to go into the salt mine and do that little section.
Now we're cooking with gas.
Yeah,
You must be Klaus's friend. The others evoked to escape with. You are too late. I caught the traitor just before you arrived.
so like I said at the beginning of this is the normal version of this. There are 2 versions of the ending. One where you save Klaus and one where you don't. And the one where you save Klaus has a lot more steps.
Earthquake!
Damn it. So generally at this point in time I like to save up points and go through and save for Pack-a-Punch. Not to buy Pack-a-Punch, but to go through the following steps to get it, since there are a lot of doors to unlock and sometimes it's beneficial to wait, sometimes it's beneficial not to. But the Pack-a-Punch area is right down here. It can be accessed one of 2 ways. It can either be accessed through this door right here, or in that little pit we opened up at the very beginning. Those are the lifesaver rounds, just because they really like to give you, or they give you ammo at the end of the round, so since they come every 5 rounds, it's always nice, especially in the later game. And as you can probably expect, the game does not end when you complete the ending, but it is still fun to get to.
We're going to need something better than bullets to stop them.
So the steps to unlock the Pack-a-Punch is press that button down here after getting here to open all the tubes around the map. There are 3. The first one is located in the bunker, right in that main area, which I'm going to right now. There's another one back by that tower. We'll get to that one last, just because we do have a quest that takes us over there, so I like to save that one for last. And each tube does cost, I believe, $250 to go down, but it's not the end of the world. So the first tube is right there, and what happens is you pay the $250, or whatever it is, yeah, $250, slide down the tube, go press the button right next to the tube, and of course the little gate opens up, and you can see where the tubes come out. There's 3 down here. And with the 2 different difficulties, there, like I said, there's a different number of steps, but you don't have to complete all of the steps in one. Like, it doesn't lock you to the, like, if you start to complete the hard mode, it doesn't lock you to hard mode. It so you can complete any number of steps of any of the difficulties that you want, and whichever one you end up completing is the one you'll end up doing. If that makes sense. So the difference between this game and all the other Nazi zombies that you can play or all the previous versions anyway, is, besides the aesthetic, the story and all that, is the fact that zombies will spawn that don't even influence the round count. So you got specialty zombies, which are kind of like mini bosses in the rough. And like I said, they don't influence round count. They'll stay there regardless of if the round's going on or not. And they can generally be annoying. And also there's little jump scare zombies that'll spawn. I think you saw one at the beginning. They'll generally spawn at random points around the map, and those are set points. So if you're standing in one place for too long, they'll pop one out in front of you time and time again, and isn't too big of an issue. Just keep you on your toes, I guess. Started because our next pack tube is back here. Actually, it's in the other area, but needed to open this anyway. So one of the different things in this zombies is the fact that you have armor. So as I mentioned earlier, there's a armor stand, the little glowing red plate that I walked past in the beginning, which you'll see that a lot because I tend to get hit a lot. But basically, wrong one. But anyway, so I tend to get hit and I'll use it a lot. There's actually one right here for you to see. It is that little armor stand thing right there, the glowing red. The next pack-a-punch tube is right here. Unfortunately, I don't have enough to use it, so. And these guys are the little mini boss guys I was referring to. If I'm not mistaken, that's the first one that spawns is the one I just looked at. It's either that one or that one.
I can feel the energy coming off this thing. The goddamn ground is shaking.
There's another type of zombie. That's just, I like to call them bomb zombies just for simplicity's sake anyway. What they do is basically you can kill them, like just the zombie, and they will drop the bomb, a little nuke on their back, and you can shoot it at any point. It stays there for the entire match, and is handy when you stumble upon one and need to clear crowds. Especially when you're dealing with a boss or something, or a mini boss. Among the set types of zombies, there's the basic Nazi zombies, which you see walking around. I've been killing them this entire time. Then there's the pests, which are the round 5, the replacements of the dogs. Huh. Don't think I've ever had that happen before. Start going in this direction. These the painting that I just looked at will come into significance with the second to last step of the Easter egg thing. Which I guess I can go ahead and explain. And I'll just give Reader Digest now, and go into detail with it later. But one of the enemies you will face is called a Bren. It is a flamethrower guy. Sometimes I refer to him as flamethrower, sometimes I refer to him as Bren. It just depends. Basically, when you are fighting the Bren, he's stronger than any of the mini bosses. He tends to shoot the tanks. That's where his crit point is, and eventually when you kill him, he drops his head. You can pick it up and you hold it as a weapon. It doesn't take a weapon slot. It doesn't replace a weapon. And basically what it does is when you're holding it, you can hold right click, and that will cause you to emit a UV light out of the Bren head. And when you look at the paintings, they give you one symbol and one number, and that's used to activate, like I said, a step later on, but I'll explain that when I get to it, or when I hopefully get to it anyway. There are many steps that are a lot easier with multiple people, and there is some prep that should be done if you are to do it single player. That's a fun one. I'll trade this. You're gonna see me do that a lot this game, since I have my buttons bound to my mouse, so usually get the two inputs mixed up.
More problems today than I have the patience to handle. Sometimes genius attracts resistance, attracts meddling fools.
So go ahead and do the next step in the basic thing, which you can see at the top left, which is reroute the power supply. And that's 2 panels I had previously mentioned. That
That's
one,
one. Looks like there's another somewhere.
and the other one's in that far end door. Sometimes I wait till I have the sprint perk so I don't have to keep sprint, stop, but it doesn't affect anything since the time limit is very forgiving.
Oh damn, this ain't right. There. I think we can get through now.
And like I said, you see me do that a lot.
Yeah!
How tight these rooms can get, it is beneficial to kind of sit back and learn the layouts of the room, and that allows you to really excel in getting out of sticky situations. And right there, that zombie that just popped out of nowhere, that was a jump scare zombie, or how I like to call them anyway. And those two have no bearing on the round count, as I've figured out, because they can spawn during rounds, after rounds, it doesn't matter. Miscalculated that. So I will say these guys do get pretty easy to deal with, just because you can sit there and run in circles until you have them in a straight line. Then from there, if you have a rifle of some sort, or really anything in this game has some kind of bullet penetration, you can just line them up and shoot. There's another jump scare zombie. Oops. Alright. Like I said earlier, I will be messing up a little bit, and you will definitely see me hit the armor stand at least once this game. Multiple times. I usually try to avoid picking up nukes if I can, just because from what was always taught when playing these games, nukes they're convenient, but they're not the best due to the fact they consume points in a way. They don't give you the full however many points per kill. It's always a reduction because of the convenience of it. I call it a little convenient tax, if you will. Um, so one of my first guns I usually like to pack a punch is the starting 1911, just because it's not a bad weapon. As history has given us in Nazi Zombies, as you saw there, it's always dual wield, always explosive, and that comes in handy a lot. A lot of the time, and when you're playing multiplayer, it's always a good thing because when you go down and you can just look down and light up the ground, it's great. That's one of the boss zombies, sorry, mini boss zombies that I mentioned. But once you get pack-a-punch weapons, they're not that bad to deal with. And another reason why I chose to pack-a-punch the 1911 in this case was because I didn't have any better pack-a-punchable weapons yet. Some of my favorites to pack-a-punch are the MGs, just for their capabilities. Since everything you pack-a-punch has its own special ability, like the Lewis gun spawns a little floating red dot that takes pot shots at zombies, which is nice. I think it's the MG42. When you take the mag out, it produces a little energy field that protects you every time you reload. So that one's honestly one of my favorites. I guess just for the sheer convenience of it. Also, they are not affected by the they are not affected by the nuke. So, yeah. That's nice. And there goes my first shield of the game. So some of the things that, or well, one of the things that I do like that they did was, even though the nuke doesn't affect those boss zombies, Jack in the Boxes will. I'm just gonna leave him to his own devices for the time being. Go ahead and change that. I think one of my favorite to date
Yeah!
zombies, or so this is one of my favorite, or Black Ops 3 zombies, the one where you're a gladiator. That one's top notch in my opinion. But another good one that I enjoyed was well, really all the recent ones were pretty good for what they were. And one of the aspects I did enjoy, if we're going to relatively newer aspects, was the Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, the multi-pack, where you could pack up to, I believe, 20, 25 times, which was pretty cool.
God help me!
There's flamethrower guy. Apparent. So there are steps that do spawn these guys, and if you take long enough, like I'm already on round 14, they do get antsy and start spawning before you're ready for them. Which I've been pack punching, so that's not too big of an issue, but then again, wish I was a little bit further than I was. Just being a little bit honest. And from here, using the tubes to escape gets you out of a lot of hairy situations and saves your butt a lot. But the issue is, as you can probably guess, I have only unlocked one way, so I know that I'm about to have that fire guy, or flamethrower guy, heading my way shortly. If I can hit a bomb, that would be great. Because I'm about to get cornered by one of these guys. I'll do one of those. I forgot he is not influenced by that. If I can't deal with him in the next moment or so, I'll probably use my ability, which will definitely deal with it. Or won't deal with him, but it will get him off my back for the time being.
His head came clean off!
And just for reference, since I have a moment, this is what I was referring to. You just pick up his head. And yeah. If I'm not mistaken, there are only 3 pack punches around or 3 mystery boxes. Didn't cover this for whatever reason. But there's one, you know where the other one is, and then gonna play a little risky and take this path. But there's also one right there, which is glowing, so that's pretty good. I'm actually going to throw one of those so I can snag a new weapon. Nah, I know better. Man, no RNGs, I'm surprised. Ow. And if you aren't paying attention, this can really get you. So always be careful. And you'll notice I'm going this way. That's just because this is a good defense point because you can obviously look down this way, and then you got to your left. And sometimes it confuses the AI if you walk from one end of this to the other, because they get kind of stuck down in this lower area, if they're already down there anyway. Make sure I have that. You gotta love it. Just because there was a bomb guy there, it killed most of them. And I did not mean to do that. So I'm gonna attempt to do something a little ballsy and go pack a punch this gun. Ideally what I'm gonna have to do is do the next couple steps in quick succession, because I usually get the as we all know, the further into this you get, the harder they potentially get. And with that being said, it's nice to get as much done as you can early, because it can tend to hurt later on.
Yeah!
So when it comes to those guys, you really want to listen for the thump. The thump means that they've essentially just put down their mace, which is always a good thing. But for the most part, you don't want to deal with them. Oh, wait, so the bomb guy's down here. Or I always miscount.
This must be what brought the Nazis here. The architecture looks like the High Middle Ages. This altar
Press the
at
button,
center
and I like to
seems
run
be the
around
focus of the entire
and
chamber.
get a
It
group,
won't budge.
throw a bomb, and just wait, because they like to, yeah. Basically, you're trying to kill as much as you can inside this little red ring as possible, until that happens, and then from there you want to bug out, because you do not want to get caught down here. and those little symbols are currency. Ow. That just means that there's a treasure zombie. Ow. Well, didn't want to have to do that this early. Yeah, if you kill him, you get.
I know a transport mule when I see one. Take him down.
I'm just gonna leave him be because I don't want to get taken out. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab some perks while I'm thinking about it. So when you're doing single player, it's always great, unless you are extremely confident, to have unless you're extremely confident to snag that quick revive, because in single player, as we know, it gives you an extra life, and you can buy it multiple times, so multiple revives, so on and so forth. I usually go for that. I think that's double damage. From here, I like to go into the little, the far left area, where I had mentioned the Brens before, over here, and snag. This is basically just quick hands, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, faster reload. Then I'm going to attempt to not get hit and run back to here because I need to start this. Reloading might be good. Oh. There I go for getting a step. Basically, you just gotta press this little green button up here. And then from there, it'll go over here, just kill as much as you can inside the circle. And sometimes getting ahead of the circle is beneficial. Just kill as much as you can.
It's moving!
And there we go again. So this, the armor stands, as you notice, are getting exponentially bigger, or more expensive. So they go up by 500, in increments of 500, and then at some point, I believe they do get to 1,000. They start going up by 1,000, but the cap is 10,000. And as you probably noticed, this is kind of moving on its own, and I can leave it to its own devices for the time being until I deal with this round. I just gotta remember to come back and snag it. But it's gonna produce a Tesla gun barrel, and the next step is in the opposite doorway where the other electrical panel was, down there. Just remove that. It's nice to get a train going because there's a lot of interlocking paths and all that. So if you have a train and you know that, so this one's done, I can go ahead and pick it up and it'll return to sender per se. and you can just develop a train, run around in circles, so on and so forth, and keep the zombies at a controllable amount until you are ready to deal with all the until you're ready to deal with them. I like to kill the fast ones. Even though they're the easiest ones to kill, they can catch you off guard. Um, if you're training, because that's what I call bad judgment. Fights. Thought there were a lot less of them than there obviously was. And once the red circle appears, then you just kind of sit back, relax, and try not to die. That's the best advice I can give. Oops. So if it ever does that, where it's not accepting any more souls per se, that means that it's full and you don't need to do it. You saw me do it with the previous one, and all that entails is that it just will automatically finish up on the track, and you no longer have to deal with it. Pick that up. And this generally spawns. Yeah, so since the Bren already came the previous round, you don't have to deal with it. I can go ahead and place all that, and once that device comes back up here, I can craft the Tesla gun. Which there are a couple things I need to get. What are you doing here?
God help me!
And as you can probably tell, I was not expecting it to still show up. I'm just trying to get them away from me so I can jump down here and pick this up. Because nothing's worse than having to come out of here with a lot of zombies. There we go. It's really up to your discretion which order you do the steps in, and like I showed you in this, there's no particular I mean there's a order, to it, but you don't have to complete them in any timely manner. There are some that are timed, yes, but you don't have to specifically focus on them. Which in this case I'm gonna run, and instead of going back there, I'm gonna attempt to get a better gun, because I like these guns, but they only go so far.
Now we're doing the dance.
So when pack-a-punching, it's always nice to run wide circles, then come back to the center, since you can divide this into 9 equal segments. And if you run around with the center segment being the pack-a-punch, if you just run around the outside 8 segments and then hook back into the center segment, it's nice. Blocking it off into 6s, so running on the left side or the right side can become problematic, but for the most part, it's fine. Right hand of God. So you'll be making a lot of trips down into the salt mine to that little shrine area, and that's where since there's only one way in, one way out kind of deal.
This is more than just a religious structure. It's a mechanism, and it looks like it needs a power source.
Yeah. So you're gonna so this is the step that I was referring to that takes me over to that tower area with the third whatever you call it, the third tube. This area right over here. And you have to do 2 separate defenses here. I say 2 separate, really they're the same. Oop. Skipped a step. Basically the step I skipped is I have to go reroute the power, which is not difficult to do. But forgetting it can be tricky. Getting back. And really it's a game of memory and speed. That's the reason why I got the sprint perk. And doing this at the end of a round is also nice. So you're not having to deal with a lot of zombies. I'll go ahead and throw one of those down so I can start it. Press, hold, red, red, green, blue.
Get this one, where's the next?
Second one is right here.
I need to
Red.
circuit
Third one is up top over here. Green. And the last one is blue. And it didn't open this, so I'm going to take the liberty of opening that. I just gotta set this one to blue before the timer runs out. Which I will say, it is a little bit of a tight timer. Evident by the fact that I just closed. But now that I'm over here, I can go ahead and activate the central lightning rod, which is the defense I was referring to.
Get off the machine!
Really? You don't want to, you don't want to deal with a lot of these guys at a time, evidently. But, pop that here. One of my perks creates this barrier, and it constantly deals damage and knocks them back, staggers them. So it makes this little defense part a little bit easier. And this is one of the few points where I do enjoy. So you gotta start this one, run to the side, and there's another one here. This is where the little explosive firearms come in handy because I'll say that. You can keep them. You can kind of keep them in check. That's the whole point. If I'm not mistaken, this is shorter. That's not good. So don't worry about failing these per se. It's not the end of the world. And if I'm being honest, it's not hard either. But I gotta be really careful because of the fact that I'm so low, but I should be able to leave it if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully. Come on. Yep, there we go. So basically what I just did was I was banking on having, oops, need to buy ammo.
Let's go check that chamber.
So
maybe the artifact has come free and we can get out.
So basically what I was doing was sorry, drawing a blank. So the reason why I knew that since that's a timed defense, once you've done it a couple times you know roughly what the timing is for it. So that's why I was able to leave when I did. Press this. Now we have the, actually I'm gonna go to pack a punch, which, actually I get to it from right here. Basically I just need to get more ammo, and at some point I do need to run back to quick revive and grab that. So I love the explosive rounds because they're the weapons that give you explosive rounds for this step in particular, so you can do that. And then you got another defense. So this is the main issue with doing this one solo, is the fact that you're gonna have a lot of zombies on you the entire time. And stopping every so often to throw a Jack in the Box, or what was recently called, or what was previously called monkey bombs, is also advised, because yeah, we're gonna have to do this 3 times, and usually
It fits, but I'll need
it
2 more.
gets a bit hairy, to say the least. Two, three. Usually the Zeppelin comes back every wave. Jump down here. So I say we have to do this 3 times. We have to do it 3 times for this step, and then little spoiler alert, but we have to do it 3 more times for the boss, the final boss, which completes the Easter egg. And this is one of those situations that I mentioned earlier about memorizing paths, because just being able to run around through the map is very beneficial. This can really hurt. Careful. I guess a little downside to the train is if you aren't paying attention and you're trying to go do something that's going to take time, if you're in a later round where they're faster and stronger, it will bite you in the butt very quickly, to say the least. Oops. Probably should have gone down the pack punch. Probably would be a smart idea, but it's actually a really good spawn.
Now we're cooking.
Another reason why I like to get as many steps done as possible, as fast as possible, is for the reason that the rounds take longer. So trying to get Zeppelins done quickly and efficiently is already hard enough as is.
Yeah!
Reload this. Oh, I'm thinking about it. Oh, don't get in there.
The Zeppelin! It's back! Maybe I can get another battery! Yeah! Did that come from the blimp?
That's the issue with the blimp. If you aren't paying any attention whatsoever, you will get shocked. And it is very painful, to say the least.
It looks like I need to charge it to trigger the release. God help me!
Uh-oh, this is the problem. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that there. Well, that was
The big ones can move!
so the main issue, besides being slow while carrying this thing, is, oh, and also beside the monstrous amount of zombies behind you, is the fact that you're limited to just punching. So, unless you have insta-kill, you're
One more should do it.
kinda SOL in terms of your options. But you can use your abilities, so that's why I like the front line or the shell shock ability, just because it gives you breathing room, obviously.
The big ones can move!
and it does that by knocking them back and stunning them. And if you have the perks that I have, it will get you a permanent breathing room, or semi-permanent.
The big ones can move.
So, as you'll see, this gets a bit tricky. The higher the round, of course, but for the most part, this third section isn't as easy as the first one, or first and second. Apparently I knocked down the top without knowing it. So the top that I just mentioned, there are 3 of them. You gotta find them, put them in the little toy store window, and that's one of the steps for the hardcore mode.
The Zeppelin! It's back! Maybe I can get another battery! The airship isn't armored, meaning I can knock its teeth out! The Zeppelin wants its toy back.
So the reason why I said that this is this is a little bit harder than the previous previous 2 batteries is because you have to knock down the battery twice. Because the first time it knocks it down, you find it, and then it reabsorbs it. Also, normal zombies do spawn during this time. But, good thing is, we're pretty much at the end, so... And yes, if you are curious why I went down, I chose to. I could have turned around, but the reason why I wanted to wait to get down was so I had the ammo. So this is the voice of God part, the one that I mentioned you needed the Bren head for. I like to just take a picture of it and do it in between rounds. But let me get armor and the other thing. Armor, and I'll go ahead and throw one of these way over there. Let them go to that. Oh, Never mind. Can't get that. So. Ow. Good thing I opened this earlier. So there are 3 locations, or 4 locations, sorry, where the paintings are. There's one in Pack-a-Punch, which I showed you earlier. Then there's um, then there's one in the pub, which is right here. There's one up in the chapel area, which is to the left. The one to the left, which was where I did the first battery defense. So up there. Just run down here. And the last one is, if I'm not mistaken, to the left. Nope. To the right. As I did earlier, I get them mixed up. Get this side and that side mixed up for which one has the Pack-a-Punch tube and which one has the painting. But the painting's located right here, so. Yep. Usually what I do is I use the brand head, scan it, take a picture. Just so I don't have to keep referencing it over and over again. And the voice of God deal is a bit on the tricky side in terms of pretty much it's just tricky because you need to I don't know how to explain it other than you really need to So the way that the voice of God section works is you take the 4 symbols and 4 numbers you received, the 4 sets you got, and you take them and input them into the voice of God, but it's not like just type in some numbers. You have to actually press, wait for it to do the animation to click up one number, and keep doing that until it matches the number that's supposed to be selected. And you do that for each of the 4 symbols, which in single player can be tedious. In multiplayer, it can get hairy, but at least you have a couple people to help you out. But I'm currently just trying to train to get a lot of them down. Just because I don't want to really deal with a lot of them all at once. So this gun, as you probably noticed by now, is so it has infinite ammo. The only trick with it is um, you get random mag sizes, or you don't get a full mag. So you know the max is 50, but yeah, you're not always gonna get 50. That's what I'm trying to say. I gotta be careful here, since I do need to loop around and grab a Bren head and get this started before I accidentally end the round. Which, being able to run is good because you're gonna do a lot of it. But for the most part, being able to run away from them and create a gap is also nice. Just pick this up. And I'm going to... And that's what I get for not paying attention.
The light from that monster's eyes. Somebody was hiding a secret message. There must be codes hidden in the other paintings.
So I like to leave the pub for last. So once I get them, I like to leave the pub for last because that one is a bit tricky with it being enclosed and you're not facing any exits. Well, I say enclosed, it's not necessarily enclosed, it's a very compact space for what it is. And having to sit there and deal with that on top of other things. Whether it's the amount of zombies or how late of a round you're doing this in, is an issue.
All the notes. Let's make some music.
Just gonna go ahead and drop that. That's not where I wanted you to be. As you can tell, they're spawning behind me, which can tend to be an issue. There we go.
The sound is getting louder.
So I'm actually just gonna pick up the Tesla gun and I'm gonna run around to lower the amount of zombies in the wave, or just because I don't want to deal with it right now. And if I can, making sure I top off my armor, prepare, you know, all the nice little things. And like I said, it gets tricky. I don't know if I'll be able to complete the boss on my own, since I did use all the yeah, all the little self revives.
Move in.
That's not where I wanted the back punch to be. So when you do the boss fight, it limits the map to everything above ground, so that little pack punch isn't available, all that's not available. So really you want to get you want to have something that has as much ammo as possible in it and save that. It's not a good time. And one thing you'll catch me forgetting to do all the time is not turn around as much as I do, because that can be very, well, not beneficial. So if you're doing this in multiplayer, it's a bit trickier than if you're doing it in single, but for the most part, you just gotta shoot the little
Man,
center orb,
this thing has some punch.
and then you can press the button. And from here, I'm actually gonna go and collect the, or change out my gun, because, I really need 3 pack punch guns, not, 2 in a Tesla gun. Not saying the Tesla gun's bad, just I don't really like using it. But that's just me.
Yeah!
And well, it was worth a try. Hopefully I can beat the boss, since literally all I had to do was, well, the last couple steps were to go down there and press the button that would activate the boss fight. Then what you need to do is repeat the battery steps, except instead of having to carry the batteries down into the bunker, what you do is once you unlock a battery, you take the you shoot the boss, and then he'll go down on one knee, which means he's stunned, and you want to do that as close to the battery as possible so you can pick it up and attach it to its leg, and then he'll run off the map, and you just deal with the zombies for a wave and so on and so forth. And then after you do that, you have to do that 3 times, same step. So first, you shoot down the first battery, kill zombies around it, attach to the boss, do that again. Third one is the same as the third battery, in the step. Basically, you shoot it down, find it, it gets sucked up into the blimp, shoot it down again. And yeah. that's once you complete all 3 of those steps, then you get a cool little cutscene, and yeah. Well, anyway, this was Call of Duty World War II Nazi Zombies, the Final Reich map, attempting the normal version or the normal ending of the map, and hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.